I'd like to ask Joe, what was your most difficult scene and what was your favorite scene to do?
The whole thing was real difficult, to tell you the truth. I did my best to make it as hard as I could for myself because the character I play is always having a hard time with everything. It's difficult for him just to wake up and, complete a sentence. So I would, try not to sleep enough and try to, I find a lot when I play a character and I do some research into some sort of character trait and I try to meet people that exhibit that trait. Once you're dealing with an individual, all the lines that, separating us from them start to kind of fade away and become blurry. And most of the time that I was hanging out with the people, with Dan, Darren, Brian, were the three guys that I spent the most time with, I felt like I was just hanging out with a person, not with a person with traumatic brain injury. And there would be isolated moments where I would be reminded that they've been through something I haven't been through. But that was important to me in playing Chris, was not to make him seem so different from everyone else, but rather the opposite. I felt responsible to the people who bear similarity to the character. I didn't want to falsify or Hollywoodify their condition of their life. It was also easily one of the best scripts I've ever read, and so I felt a responsibility to honor that. Also, I was given the part about 8 months before we started shooting, which is an extraordinarily long period of time to have, for me, to have a character sitting in my head. Usually you get a part and a month or two later you start doing it. So it was there in my head, building and building and building for a long time. And I think that kind of gestation, it really helps. You don't have to even actively think about it, but just kind of let it sit there and grow in your subconscious. And just kind of check in with Scott now and then and tell him, what I'm thinking about and ask him what he's thinking about. And yeah, so those are some